Alright. Honestly, this might be a big theme in a lot of my videos. Because truthfully, I do talk about this and I do realize it. But I'm going to be talking about how my life is so peaceful yet lonely. And like I said, I probably mentioned this in a lot of my videos, but I never really had a necessarily bad life. I mean, of course, there's been many unfortunate things here and there, but everybody has like unfortunate things that happen in their life. But for me, there was nothing necessarily drastic that's not necessarily out of the norm, you know? So there's nothing for me to say that my life sucks. It's just peaceful. You don't really have many distractions. You're just doing things by yourself, doing things at your own pace, and I like it. I really like how peaceful and quiet and slow my life is. I really do. I admire the way I live my life, and I'm satisfied and I'm happy. Well, not happy, but I'm not unhappy either. See, the thing is that you, you know, being alone is very peaceful until it gets lonely. And lonely comes and goes, right? Loneliness comes and goes. You get lonely sometimes, you don't get lonely. Especially at night, you get lonely. Like around this time. Like you can't really stop thinking about what you necessarily want in life. And I don't know. It's kind of like you just overthink things that you never really need to think about. You just keep thinking about it, and it doesn't really do you any good. It makes just sleeping harder because you can't really sleep. But it really is like a push and pull, like a tug of war between having a peaceful life and you being satisfied with it, but having a peaceful life but also being very lonely. And it's very hard to like you have a push and pull with your with what your life resides with. Is it, are you living a lonely life, or are you living with a life that you're satisfied? And honestly, it's just both. It's just a mix of both. There's nothing linear. There's no reason to pick a side, because life is complex. Human beings, I am, complex. I don't even understand myself. That's how complex I am. So you can't really just label it as like, oh, I'm happy with my life, I'm not happy with your life, right? So when people ask me how are you doing, I really don't know how to answer that. People ask me like, are you okay? I mean, I'm not. I mean, I could be better. But I also could be worse. So it's really hard to answer those types of questions, because when people ask you a question like a yes or no question, right? Like, hey, are you doing good? Or how are you doing? That's technically kind of a yes or no. Oh, I'm doing good. Oh, I'm doing bad. It's like it feels like there's only two choices with these questions, but there's like 15 ways you can determine. Oh, like I'm alright. I'm not happy, but I'm also unhappy. And the thing is, it's very weird to just drop a bunch of that stuff when you're talking to some people, especially when you haven't really talked to them in a while. So you just tell them, "Oh, I'm good," because that's like a normal response. So if people ask me, I think I'm living a very slow and peaceful life, but it does get lonely. I've been talking about loneliness a lot in my videos, but that's because that's one of the biggest problems. That's one of the, well, usually the main issue that I have, right? Like besides grades, besides comparing myself to other people, making it feel like I'm behind, right? Like I have those issues. I have those issues where I'm disappointed in myself because I haven't reached certain expectations. But a lot of them derive from loneliness. It's very hard to feel okay with your life when you you know because you have you have this image of what's a good life, like this standard, right? And all you really see is this standard, right? You don't see all the other stuff. All you see is this good standard. Oh, you graduate, you get a job, you do internships, you explore the world, you make money, you get a good house, you have a good family. That's a standard, right? And that's all. And your whole life, you're told that that is the standard that you should try to achieve. So the thing is, like, when you're lonely, you don't have that much people to talk to about your frustration. You don't have that much people to hear from talking about their frustration. So you don't know what is out there besides this standard, because this standard is all you see. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I don't know if what I'm talking about is, getting to you. But when you're talking to people, you have this some sort of relatability, right? You see what they're going, you see what stuff that they're going on. They're because everybody has issues. Okay, everybody has issues. Some people have different issues. Some people don't have the same issues. Excuse me, sorry. Some people have the same issues. Some people don't have the same issues, and you talk to each other, relating, and whatnot, right? Creating this, just having conversation, hearing how, like, having an actual human conversation with one another, and it's nice. But the thing is, let's say we don't have that. You don't really have people to have those types of conversations with. So you don't really hear the reality of things. You don't hear the reality of what people are going through, because, like I said, all you technically see, because all the information that you have is the standard, right? Getting a good job, doing all, that standard. But because you don't have enough people to talk to, you don't hear from a lot of people, so you just don't have a reference, if that makes sense. And that's why, like, one of the biggest issues that I kind of deal with is lack of connection, lack of relatability. And the thing is that you can go through TikTok, right? You can go through TikTok, and yes, at first I did think that TikTok was very relatable. You hear a lot of people say some things, and you just be like, "Oh my gosh, I feel the same way," right? But then it's kind of hard, because you the issue that I have with TikTok, that I think is so much different than me seeing videos like these on YouTube, like the Zerky Show, or Profound Pondering, or Gooby and Doobie, or is it Doobie and Gooby? I don't know. But those people, like, it's different watching those people than the relatability stuff that you see on TikTok, because on TikTok you're scrolling, like you're seeing many different types of people, right? So I don't know, you're getting fed up with so much information, and it, like, copy and paste stuff, right? Like, I don't know how to necessarily, like, describe it, but it feels fake. It feels like there's no, like, I'm relating to an algorithm just showing me what I want to see, right? like I don't really know how to describe it, but that's why I don't really want to be on social media. I just don't like the idea of being on social media, only because I I just don't like the stuff that I see. I don't like the stuff. I don't like how society is being portrayed now, right? I just don't like seeing that stuff. That's why I think it's so much different than the media that you see from YouTube, from animes, K dramas, other movies, etc. Like I think it's a lot different than having multiple videos that you can see all at once. Like if when you see so much videos of the same thing talking over and over again, it gets so repetitive that you kind of like you don't get that relief of relatability. You know what I mean? Because it feels all fabricated. It doesn't feel authentic. So like when you're scrolling through, just it's like it lost its. You don't feel connected with it anymore. Like when I watch like Gooby and Dooby, and he talks about a lot of things, I feel like, cause he's talking, right? Like me, I'm talking to you. But when you see a bunch of videos, like the text and it's some pretty aesthetic thing in the back, like I said, it just feels. It feels not. It feels so fabricated because, well, then again, it is from like it is curated to your liking, based on what you like interact with, But stuff that you watch, like a 10-minute video, it's so much. I think it's a lot different than having 20 videos of the same thing in the matter of 10 minutes, That's why I don't really like the idea of social media, because, like, you there's no relatability, and that's why it's lonely. You don't have this connection, because one of the biggest things, it's not the only thing, but one of the things that help you connect with other people is relatability. I mean, like I'm a very introverted person, and I think introverts and extroverts can relate too. Because everybody has the same problems. You know, like I think everybody goes through some sort of issues. And the thing is that relatability is okay. Relatability is not the only thing that helps people create connections. I think one of the biggest things, like I said, it's not, it's a gray area. It's not black and white. It's not linear. It's non-linear. Life is non-linear. So like there's relatability that allows you to create connections. I don't even know where I'm going with this, but there's relatability that allows you to create connections, but there's also the wanting to see something from another person's perspective that I guess you can like that you can apply to your life. I think the learnability and the relatability, right? Wanting to understand. I think that's better. Like because wanting to understand another person, or no, wanting to be understood. If someone could understand you in a way like that, they don't even have to relate, but they can just understand. Like for if I was gonna date somebody, I wanted an extroverted person. Like for me, like I'm always talking to like I can talk to people. Like I'm not necessarily. I mean, like I said, I'll create conversations if you allow me to. If you, I think I'm very good at having conversations with people, coming up with questions. I think I have that wit, but someone has to initiate it. Okay, because I just think it's very draining to try to initiate a conversation, and because it feels like I'm doing all the work, because I'm the one that's trying to prolong this conversation, and I'm the one that initiates it. Like it just feels like now it's just one sided. right? Like you have to give me something. So that's why I don't really initiate things anymore. So that's why I would love an extroverted person to just pop into my life. Basically, someone like Sana from Twice. But but all I'm trying to say is that even though my life is peaceful, and I don't mind it. I don't mind the peacefulness of my life. It's slow, quiet. All I have to do is just put my head down and just keep grinding. But it does get lonely. Like those are one of the things that you can't just fix, right? Because for loneliness, you kind of have to you need another person to relieve loneliness. Like loneliness is not going to go away unless you're with people. Like I mean anxiety, depression, all that stuff, those are big issues too. But the thing is those can be I think those are a lot more because you can deal them with yourself. Those are things that you can probably fix on your own, but loneliness is the one thing that you kind of need another person. I might be wrong. Someone please let me know if that thinking is kind of flawed, but that's just what I think. But I want to be proven. Oh, I want to be proven wrong, because if I'm wrong, I don't want to just be wrong. But this was a good talk. But anyways, I'm gonna go finish. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I'm allowed to show this, but I'm watching Midnight Diner. Yeah, it's a pretty good Japanese drama so far. It's pretty good. Like it's very peaceful. Like I love watching these types of K drama. Like well, it's not a K drama because it's Japanese, but J dramas. But I like watching a bunch of shows or movies where it's very slow and somewhat realistic. Like Spider Man Brand New Day. Well, actually, not even just the movie. I'm not gonna spoil the movie, but Spider Man as a whole, he has relatability. You know, like that. Like, I grew up reading comic books, and one of my favorite stories was, I forgot which comic book series it was. Oh, I forgot. I'm blanking right now. I have it. I'm blanking. But anyways, you know, I'm gonna go finish this, and I'm gonna see you all in the next video. Peace.